I'm a Raider, Oakland Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas.
Just
I'm
win,
a
baby.
player, a boss player, and if you with me, pop your collar, shake them haters. I'm a Raider, Oakland Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Cause I'm a player, boss player, and if you with me, pop your collar, shake them haters. I'm a Raider.
What's up, Raider Nation? We are back, baby, again. I am your host / co-host, Mariano, and I'm along with
the one and only Victor Freeze.
We're back at it again, and we're here for another episode. That means that we made the playoffs, baby.
Playoffs, baby.
Playoffs?
It's a great time to be alive.
Playoffs, man. So we're going to kick it off like we normally do with the news and notes of the week. That's segment number 1. Segment number 2 is going to be the Charger takeaways. Obviously, we got to get into exactly what happened, what we seen play out from the game. Obviously, they're the cardiac kids this year, so we got to touch on this. And then we're going to follow it up and end the show with the Bengals preview in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Before we get into any of this, though, we got to drop the phone number, 415-634-9086. Again, you can call / text 415-634-9086. Please tap in with the Real Raiders podcast. We would love to hear y'all feedback. You hate it, you love it, you want to drop some fire heat, drop it. Please let us know.
Yep. You want me to get started, Mariano?
Go ahead, kick it off, Vic.
All right, so the first and biggest news I think we got, I think it's Darius Phylon. Mm-hmm. He's out with the patellar tendon injury. He tried to swat a ball last week during the game. Came down on that knee wrong, and he is done for the season.
It's tough because he was balling that last game.
Man, he made that big 4th down stop on their side of the field. That was all Phylon. Mm-hmm. So that's a unfortunate, thing to go into playoffs. But as a result of that, we got Isaiah Buggs from the Steelers. They just waived him recently. It's a questionable move by the Steelers considering that they're so thin at their D-line position.
Right.
And a lot of the fans are saying that this Isaiah Buggs guy was a good rotational piece. So we'll see how he fills in. Obviously, he's coming to a new system, new everything. So don't expect him to have immediate, crazy production. But at least we have, some depth back in there. You want to hit him with the next one, Mariano?
Yeah, so Jonathan Hankins was limited at practice on Thursday. Obviously, he's dealing with the back/knee issue at the moment. And since we had that injury to Darius Phylon, we're going to need all the help that we can.
Yeah.
Especially since the Bengals can't run the ball with Mixon.
Yeah.
So we know that Jonathan Hankins is a solid interior defensive lineman that's going to clog up these holes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. On that note, we're mostly healthy.
Yeah.
Overall, just have a couple guys that are limited. Mm-hmm. I think Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, and Jonathan Hankins are expected to play.
Casey Hayward as well. So
yeah,
Casey Hayward, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller. They're all having limited practices, but they're expected to play, which is really good news.
We got a pretty healthy squad going into playoffs, so that's all you can ask for, right?
Yep. A couple other players that are a little banged up from what I've seen on the Raiders website was Quentin Jefferson and Kendall Vickers. Mm-hmm. They were added to the injury report and they were listed as limited participants in practice. Now, obviously, this whole week of practice is really just walkthroughs. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I've heard on Raider Nation Radio. So they're not doing much of anything anyway. And it's probably just a precautionary thing. You got to list certain players if they're feeling banged up or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And more on the injury front, we got Nicholas Morrow coming back from the IR. Mm-hmm. But he's not expected to play this week, right? He's been out for practically the whole season with an ankle injury.
Right.
And hopefully we get him back for the second round of the playoffs that we're going to, Mariano.
That's right. Predicting to win, Vic?
Hey, we'll talk more about that later.
That's right. The last thing that I got for the news and notes of the week is that Morrow and Hobbs were named to PFF's All-Rookie team.
That's right.
Tip the hat to Mike Mayock.
Divine Diablo would have been on there too if he had replaced Corey Middleton since week 1.
Yeah, that's right. So another tip of the hat to Mike Mayock. Another 2 solid draft picks. You get 2 starters in the draft, potentially 3 with
Divine Diablo.
and he just continues to do his thing. So,
hell of a draft.
Yeah, Mike Mayock is continuously making his point that he should be sticking around with all the moves that he's made, as well as all the draft picks that he's brought in here. So let's rock.
It's facts.
Facts.
You got anything left on the news and notes, Mariano?
That's all I got.
I'm all wrapped up too. Let's move on to the Chargers game. So, I just want to start off by saying that the scoreboard don't dictate how much we dominated this game, to be honest.
Right.
From beginning to almost end.
Almost end. They almost gave it up, but
yeah, but
they did dominate the game from the jump.
You know, I think that we see it a lot with Gus Bradley's defense towards the end of the game when they do have the lead. It's a lot of prevent, a lot of cushion, a lot of, try to eat up the clock, but the offenses take advantage of that. But clearly we saw going into halftime how the Chargers took advantage of that, scored a touchdown, and then obviously closing the game, they came back on us and took it to overtime. So that's something you want to be aware of, going into playoffs, because that could be a game changer with other teams. You know what I'm saying? It might not always be we tie to get in and things of that nature. This is playoffs, so it's a win or go home. So
yeah,
that's something we want to be well aware of. But other than that, Max Crosby had a hell of a game, bro.
Oh my God, it was like every play.
AFC Defensive Player of the Week, along with we forgot to mention down the news and notes, but we have Special Teams Player of the Week. You know who it is?
Daniel Carlson.
Once again.
Come on now. Ice in his veins.
Bruh, that man's nasty. I'm glad we extended him.
Best kicker in the league.
Yeah. I actually thought we were going to tie at some point. I was like, what the fuck? I don't want to play the Chiefs.
Hey, we kind of talked about it in the last episode, too. Like, if this goes to overtime, right? And, I mean, we thought that it could have happened. Obviously, it didn't. The coach is getting a lot of heat, or I don't want to say heat, but a lot of people were asking him questions like, why'd you call the timeout?
Yeah.
Because the Raiders were even having discussion, and it probably worked out for the best, because if the Raiders did end up tying, we're seeing KC in this first week of the playoffs, which is the last team that anyone wants to see right now. They're the hottest team in football.
Just let someone else take care of them.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I sure as hell didn't want to see KC, and I don't think anyone else did either. So, I saw this meme. Bosa was obviously talking shit, and you seen Sean Merriman was talking hella shit on his page too. And then there was this fan that was heckling him coming out the game. He's like, "What's all that shit talking?" It was hilarious if you guys didn't see that. But there was a meme. It's like, you heard an elf on a shelf. How about Bosa on a sofa? That's a good one right there, bro. Woo. That's a good one.
But yeah, I think Derek Carr was. You saw that smirk on his face when he called that last second timeout to kick the field goal. I think he was happy to send the Chargers packing and going home.
Absolutely.
After all that shit talking done by Joey Bosa.
DC's got the last laugh, man.
DC's on fire right now.
DC's on fire.
He came into that game ready and focused in on getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, he didn't throw any interceptions either. So me and Vic had talked about it last week. I can't remember if it was the episode that got deleted and wiped.
I posted an episode. I just forgot to promote it on the page.
No.
Sometimes.
But we had talked about it that DC had only thrown 0 picks, and I want to say 4 games.
Yeah.
Up to this point, 4 or 5 games, and then he added another one to the last game of the season. So that was one of my kind of keys to the victory, is just protect the football. No fumbles, no interceptions. Yeah. I heard a lot of people saying that DC didn't play a great game, but at the end of the day, he didn't turn the ball over. He threw 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking that any day of the week. So yeah, for me, the biggest takeaway from this Charger game is that the Raiders won in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
The defensive line got after Herbert all game long. He had Max Crosby in his face constantly. You seen Phylon beating his man on 4th and short to get a turnover downs in their own 18 inside the 20.
Yeah.
As well as the offensive line in the run game. Offensive line, run game, Josh Jacobs ran for over 130 yards and a touchdown. Yeah. That's stellar, man.
That's playoff JJ.
That's playoff football, baby. Josh Jacobs has been effective.
These last 3 weeks, right? He's rushed for over 100.
Yeah. So this is exactly what we wanted is what we got, right?
That was the keys to the episode before. We said keep the run game going, right? And get to Justin Herbert and make sure he's not on his A game. That's exactly what we did.
That's exactly what we did. And Justin Herbert made some mistakes too. He threw the pick to Casey Hayward.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you ride it up, right? The defensive line gets pressure. DBs get interceptions. It's just how it works. It's counterintuitive. So, all in all, this was a ridiculous game, right? This had me screaming and shouting, excited and down, dropping F-bombs left and right. The real biggest turnoff to me was all the fourth down conversions that Herbert hit.
Pissed me off.
Yeah, at one point he was 6 for 6 on fourth down, which is just unacceptable, right? You end the game if you get a stop on 4th and 21, man.
That's crazy.
It's tough.
It's a laser into the end zone.
Yeah, it's just, that shows his greatness, though.
Yeah.
And what we're going to be having to deal with the next potentially 10 years,
5 of the top passing leaders in the NFL, 3 are in the AFC West. So
there you go.
The other 2 are Tom Brady and Matt Stafford. So
yeah,
great company to be in.
That's great company, and we're gonna have a long few years that are ahead of us, to say the least. So they better sign Max Crosby. That's all I'm gonna say. Not trade him for 2 first-round picks. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, this is another game where Carr was on his A game. He obviously didn't put up high passing yards, but he didn't have to because this Josh Jacobs put the team on his back, put the offense on his back. And overall, great game from all phases, and carry this momentum. Like I've been saying week to week, we got to keep on carrying this momentum into the next game, which we're going to talk about. So start us off with the preview against the Bengals, Mariano.
Yeah, so first and foremost, just no big plays. We got to keep Chase in check.
Which we did last time we played him.
Yeah,
we held him in check last time.
We held him in check. He had like 3 catches for like 20-some yards last time, which I was at that game.
You were at that game.
By the way.
He was.
And it was a terrible game to go to, spend all that money to watch them lose. And at the beginning of the season, we were looking at this like, oh, that's going to be a win.
Yeah.
Right? We thought that this was
guaranteed dub.
Guaranteed dub, right? Yeah. But like we just seen with the Charger game, we lost to the Chargers the first time around, beat them the second time around, and I think that this is very well possible this next time.
Yeah.
So that's my first key to the victory. Vic, what you got?
Yeah, I don't know. The national media has all of us. I think a couple people, like I seen, how they put out their predictions to win. We're underdogs going into this week, man. We're going into Cincinnati in a snowy weather game.
Yeah.
So I expect this to be another Josh Jacobs game. Hopefully he takes control of the offense again.
That's right.
I wonder how we do in cold weather. Have we played a cold weather game this season?
I'm not sure. Not like this, that's for sure. Not this cold, I don't think.
Not no snow.
The closest was probably the Cleveland game, and that was a nice weather game, I think.
Well, last year we played that rainy-ass Cleveland game, too. So.
Yeah. The cold weather Cleveland game. That was windy.
But yeah, we're definitely going to have to be on the shoulders of Josh Jacobs this game and continue what we did last time, except this time we got to contain Joe Mixon because last game he ran all over us, bro.
Yeah.
I just remember on fantasy he put up like 25 points, so that has to be good. I don't remember the exact stats, but on fantasy he put up 25 points against us. And that can't happen this time.
And Divine Diablo wasn't playing.
Divine Diablo was not our starting linebacker that game, so that's huge. Right. And then we're going to have
I also remember that the defense that came to play, the offense was just puttering through the whole game. Yeah. I remember Denzel Perryman's press conference after the Bengal game because I was walking over the overpass in Vegas listening to it on my phone. and he was just talking about, man, I'm ready to go. I got dinner reservations. Like, it's time for me to go. But his point was that the defense was out there doing their thing. They got multiple stops on the Bengals last time they played. The offense just couldn't get anything going. And if you guys remember, this was right around the time that all this stuff was happening with Henry Ruggs. And the Raiders were still trying to find their groove, right? Without that deep threat that they have. So hopefully this will be a different turn of events, to say the least.
Yeah, and the Bengals are hot right now. I'm not gonna lie.
They're rocking and rolling.
They're on fire, but so are we.
Yeah,
it's like
so are we. Yeah.
It's like two teams is like just both on fire right now.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a really good game. But yeah, we just need to be on our A game on offense. There's no one really on their defensive line that can create game-changing plays. I don't think they have anybody to worry about. I'm not too familiar with the Bengals D line, but just Brandon Parker I always worry about game to game.
In any game.
Game to game, right?
Yeah.
But I think we got to carry the momentum. Like I keep on saying, I'm gonna say it every week. We got to carry this momentum because we're on fire. There's something going in the building right now. Since the Divine Diablo presser, he called out his team. He's like, some of you guys just come here and what did he say? You guys are just complacent, basically.
Right.
And not to put him in his exact terms, but I'm saying they just come here, get their check, and that's it. But ever since he called them out, they've been on this run, and we got to carry that momentum and on the shoulders of Josh Jacobs because the running game is doing great right now.
Yeah.
And we need to get Darren Waller going in this game for sure.
Yep. I agree. We got to run the ball, and Bengals have the 5th best run defense in the league right now. So they have to get this established. We've been running the ball well. The offensive line is coming together, so just keep it rolling, right? We're not asking you to move mountains. We're asking you to win one play at a time.
We run the ball against the Colts. I think we could run the ball against pretty much any team.
Absolutely. The Colts defense is one of the most talented that I think we faced all year.
Yeah.
And they dominated. The offensive line dominated that game. So nonetheless, they should be able to win plays. Obviously, the Bengals are going to win some, but we just have to win more at the end of the day. Yeah. My last and final key to the victory is we need relentless pressure on Joey Burrow. We need it. Just like they did with Herbert last week. I mean, you could tell Max Crosby did not take a play off, bro. Yeah. You could tell.
Burrow is one of the quarterbacks that thrives under pressure, though. He's number 2.
Yeah.
In completed passes while getting blitzed or under pressure, or I forgot the stat, but he's number 2. So he's up there. So he could take that heat.
That's okay. I'll switch it up. Relentless pressure, just rushing 4. Right? Okay. Because if you keep the other 8 men, the other 8 men out in coverage, then you're gonna have to fit it in the tight windows, right? 7. Excuse me, 7. Yeah,
I got you.
So
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Say it again. But anyways, you don't want Joey Burrow to just be sitting back there picking you apart, because this man can do it. And when in doubt, he's just going to throw it up to Jamar Chase.
Or Higgins. Higgins has nice
Or
hands.
Higgins. Yeah, exactly, right? So we'll see, man. I'm very excited for this game. I'm just happy for us to be back in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And God forbid we get a playoff win. If we get a playoff win, you write Rich Bisaccia in as our coach.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Unless, the Raiders, they do something crazy. Might trade for Mike Tomlin.
Well, then there's that. And I think Mark Davis wants the big splash type of coach.
Yeah.
Which isn't needed, though. I mean, look what this... you figure we keep the same offensive staff. Derek Carr knows this offense like the back of his hand. If there's any hope for the Raiders to really do some damage next year, I'm not even talking about 2 years from now, but next year, it's going to be under this coaching staff.
Yeah, because literally all you got to do to the offense is bolster up that line a little bit, add a number 1 wide receiver, you're set, bro. There's nothing else you need to do to the team. And then the defense is like Trayvon Mullen comes back, so you know
Trayvon Mullen, and
Jonathan
we get a little
Abram.
more experience in the DB room. Just with Morrow playing this full season, Nate Hobbs playing this full season, they're only going to get better with this defense. So ultimately, I would love to see a win. I would pay big money to see the Raiders win this weekend.
I'm fairly confident that we could pull out the dub if we have the offensive momentum, offensive momentum, and the same performance from the defense that we had last game. The game, it looked like a blowout on paper, but I think we got like 2 garbage touchdowns or something towards the end, right? It was a close game, like Mariano said. The defense did their job, so if they could carry that energy from that game into this game too, I think we got it in the bag. I think it's a very winnable game, even though the media is just paying attention because Joe Burrow threw for 500 yards and shit like that, you know?
Right. Exactly. And one thing that we do know is that the Raiders don't really give up too many big pass plays unless it's the Chiefs. Unless it's them, right? For the most part.
There's no adjustments. They got the cover 3 beaters all day. Just poof, poof, poof.
For the most part, the Raiders take care of the deep ends of the field. They let you take everything up front, and then they go make tackles. And so far, these past 4 weeks, they've been tackling very well, man, in open field. So hopefully we can just keep this thing going.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm excited. Can't wait for tomorrow to be over.
I know.
It's Saturday.
We're a couple days away, man. 2 more sleeps, and we'll be there.
Exactly. 2 more sleeps, and they wake up like it's Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think we pull out a win, Mariano. 24-17. I'll call it Raiders right now. I got a superstition going. I haven't worn my jersey since we were 6 and 7, so I'm not gonna wear a jersey. I'm not gonna wear no Raiders gear. That's what last week I wore my Klay Thompson jersey.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna continue that. This week.
I'm in the same boat too. Every time I wake up and I get ready, brush my teeth, put a bunch of Raider gear on, we end up losing. This last week I just had my Raider hat. So this is my lucky Raider hat. That's all that I'm doing.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. You got a score prediction, Mariano, or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 35-32 Raiders. It's gonna be another nail biter all the way to the end, and Daniel Carlson's gonna ice the kick for the win again.
The GOAT Carlson, man. All right, so that's it. That's all we have for the preview of the Bengals game, and that concludes this episode of the Real Raiders podcast.
That's right,
man. Feels so good to be in the playoffs, man.
Playoffs?
And you guys are guaranteed another episode next week.
That's right.
Outside of that, I can't guarantee nothing, but we will go on to the next round. I'm speaking it into existence, so we will have more than 2 episodes. I mean, more than next week's episode is what I'm going to say. But I love you guys. I say this week in, week out, but I really appreciate you guys. This making content stuff is fun. It's like I'm just talking to the homies basically, and you guys just tune in, and just add your 2 cents here, and then comment and like all this stuff. So it's pretty cool. Could do this as a living, Samoan Raider does that, and he's having the time of his life going to the games and shit. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So, but we'll get there one day, hopefully, maybe.
That's right.
Make some bread off of this, but
yeah,
that's not the focus right now. We just want to grow the channel and get close to the Raider Nation. But we appreciate y'all. I say this week in, week out, and I really mean it. And that's it for this episode. You got any last notes, Mariano?
Nope. Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. Raider Nation. We're out of here.